you're a Nazi. And I'm like, a Nazi? Why are they saying that about me? Hate makes evil stronger. They want to destroy you by turning your heart dark. That is the truth. You're never gonna get me to play that game. Nazi, no, you're the Nazi, f you! Never doing that. It's time to acknowledge what's totally real. Charlie Kirk got murdered. No one was more shocked than I was. He and I had just talked about the possibility of me getting murdered. Evil becomes stronger with hate. And I have learned this from watching really carefully and been involved in a lot of battles, rhetorical battles in my life. And I have noticed that the goal of people serving evil is to make you a hater. They call you what they want you to be. And as someone who has been called many names over many years and been confused by it because I'm very literal, like I'm actually not a racist. Actually, I'm not a racist. And if I was, I would just admit it, but I'm not. I've said that like 1,000 times. Nobody cares. They keep calling you it. So why do they call you that? Because they think you are? Kind of obvious that I'm actually not, and they know that. No, because they want you to become that. That's what they want you to be. You're a Nazi. And I'm like, a Nazi? No, I'm very anti-Nazi, actually. Why are they saying that about me? Why not just note the obvious about me? You're, well, self-indulgent or overweight or whatever, the things I really am. Why not criticize me on the basis of like my obvious faults, reality? I mean, that's what I do. And you're trying to needle someone, you're like, oh, and it's true. And that makes, you call the fat girl fat. Why are they calling me something I'm not? And I'm obviously not. Because they want me to become that. Mm-hmm. Now, why would people who claim to hate Nazis want you to become a Nazi? That doesn't make any sense. Because it's a spiritual principle. Hate makes evil stronger. They want to destroy you by turning your heart dark. That is the truth. And they feed on that. It makes them strong when you hate them. This is not a political principle. This is a spiritual principle. And I have seen it in action so many times that I've become totally convicted of it. I mean, I've lived this. And so I have resolved, I don't care what people who disagree with me do to me. I don't care. I'm not going to hate them. Partly because I despise them so much, I refuse to hate them. Because, no, I'm half joking, but no, it's like I disagree so much that I'm not going to give you what you want, which is for me to make you the center of my world by hating you. I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to give you the spiritual power that comes from hate, because I see what happens. I have seen it. I have literally been, the only thing I've done in my life is watch things. I've watched a lot of things in a lot of different places around the world. And I haven't learned that much, but a few things I've learned. And one is when evil convinces you to hate it, evil becomes stronger. And the only kryptonite, the only thing you can employ to make it less strong is love and its many cousins: amusement, cheerfulness, laughing in the face of evil diminishes evil. So you're never gonna get me to play that game. Nazi, no, you're the Nazi, fuck you! Never doing that. I'm never going to do that, both for my own sake and because that's the path to defeat. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I mean, it does. Makes a lot of sense. It's been a very weird journey for me.
Yeah, you think? Don't you love that though? Like, would a teenage you have guessed where you'd be now?
5 years ago, I would have.
I want to be a podcast.
Yeah, but you know, I don't. You know, I've been thankful. I'm also sad, and I've never been this close to government ever. I mean, you know, I worked in government, but you know, it was very compartmentalized, so, and very focused on certain aspects. So I didn't have time to like, or access. Everybody thinks, oh, you got all this access. You don't have any fucking access.
Of course not.
But after doing this and a lot of these interviews, and dude, it's just so fucking dark, man. It's I don't know. It makes me wonder, like, are we here for a bigger purpose, or is our purpose just to, you said lead by sacrifice. I think lead by example. Just set the fucking good example, and just be a good person. And what is it? Attraction works a lot better than promotion.
Definitely.
And that's what my wife tells me. But
there's a cost to that. That's what I would say the main thing that I have learned, having been around, the same world that I'm around now. I've been around since I was a child, and it's slowly dawned on me how rotten it was. And so the main pitfall for me is being shocked by everything. I'm like, I can't believe how bad this is. I can't believe how corrupt this institution is. These people are. I can't believe how dark it is. I must say that 100 times. I can't believe it. And then occasionally I'll hear myself and I'll be like, you become the I can't believe it guy? Really? Are you shocked again? Like, how many times? This is Lucy in the football. Like, how often are you going to be shocked by what you already know, by what you've stated out loud 1,000 times? So if you keep doing the same thing to me and I keep refusing to believe you're going to do it, and if I find myself shocked every time when you do it, who's the asshole?
I don't know. I mean, I think when you say it, you know what I mean? That you like when you say, I can't believe, I think the reason that happens is there's still a glimmer of hope in your mind that it actually is not as fucking bad as it appears to be.
Of course it is.
And then every time you go down the rabbit hole more and more and more.
We dropped atom bombs on civilians and celebrated it. Oh, it was so important we do that. Really? To incinerate a bunch of kids? Like, if you say it's important to beat the Imperial Japanese army or replace the government with a friendly government, of course. But if you're celebrating the incineration of children, then you're evil. And all of us were, including me. So, like, it's just important to recognize that and just be like, wow, we made a huge mistake. But people who refuse to acknowledge the mistake and continue to behave like that was a virtue are serving evil. That's just what it is. Like, that's what the whole project is. Like, and they'll employ any lie to get you not to. You hate the United States. I hate the United States? I don't think I do. No, give my life for the country in a second. I feel like we're actually in the process of doing that, giving over things that we love because we care about this land and its people, because this is where we're from. You're not going to get me off the track, but you're also not going to get me to lie. So what happens if you decide I'm just going to tell the truth? You have to tell the whole truth about everything all the time. You're not required to do that. But I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to tell the truth. We're definitely going to get killed if you keep doing that, because whether it's physically or in some way, you are going to suffer. And that's the whole story. That's a story of Jesus. That's a story of his disciples. Maybe every one of whom was murdered in the end. Why? Because they were hurting people or stealing from the poor? No, because they were telling the truth. So we already know that. So I don't know why every single time, I get attacked or I see people unfairly attacked for doing the right thing and telling the truth. And every single time I'm like, I can't, this is shocking. It's like, really? I guess I didn't really believe anything I said, because there's nothing shocking about it. It's the most predictable. I remember going on Fox and writing the script and something, I can't even remember, could be anything, but I was like, it's kind of weird that all the people who lied are getting presidential medals of freedom and consulting contracts at BlackRock, and all the people who told the truth are headed to jail. We're punishing the honest. I remember being like totally out. I mean, this was like 10 years ago I said this. And yet every single time I've seen it in the subsequent decade, I've been every bit as shocked. And I just think, no, it's time to acknowledge what's totally real. Charlie Kirk got murdered. No one was more shocked than I was. He and I had just talked about the possibility of me getting murdered. Oh, I'm not worried about that. I said, and then he gets murdered. And I was so shocked and of course upset because of him specifically dying, but shocked that someone could get killed who didn't do anything wrong. He just told the truth. And he was increasingly telling more of the truth, which is exactly why he was murdered, obviously. But I remember being shocked at that. I was like, no. And I talked to our staff about it, and we've had some, real drama in our lives. We were totally shocked by it. And similar, people trying to kill you. And I remember finally concluding and saying to them, and they agreed, it's like, what did you think this was? That's what this is. That's what our lives are. That's what everyone's life is. And we've gotten to the point where you can't opt out. You can't just say, I'm going to my fishing camp with the spaniels. I tried. There is no opting out. And anyway, and people can reach different conclusions about what their role is. And I think everyone has a different role. Not everyone has the same role at all. Not everyone has the same destiny or mission, but we're all going to have to face that choice because it's not up to us. That's the nature of life. So I don't care what happens. I am resolving, I'm not going to be shocked by it. And the extent to which you're shocked is the extent to which you didn't really believe what you were saying before. And now, finally, after all these years at 56, I really believe that what we're seeing is what we always thought we would see.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.